Got something kind of interesting. I know I showed you guys when I unboxed this guy how cool it was, and it's been sitting on the shelf since then. So with the weather getting nicer, moved some stuff outside, if you can see over here. And in the process of doing that, look what I found this weird guy getting up to. I don't know if you can see those roots growing from the terminal end, and on the side here, on the bottom. And actually, you can see the tips also. That's saying, hey, I need light. So it's growing kind of weird. It's stretching. So that's why it's a different color. That's new growth. But it was laying, you can kind of guess with the roots being here and that tip being in that direction, it was laying like that. So posted on a group I'm a part of, got a bunch of different opinions. We're just going to pot it straight up like this. So we'll see what happens. These roots, I guess, will just kind of fall off and heal up and look like old scars. So this is one of my nicer genetics. This is Althea, if I haven't said that already. So let's do that. Also got some other things to potentially do. I don't know. We'll just kind of, I don't really have a plan. I'm not very professional, so we'll just kind of do some stuff and see how it goes. So let's get to it. So one thing I will show you guys, I'm going to use this pot. I'm going to guess it's about, I don't know, 12 inches tall, 10 to 12 inches tall. I put some rock in the bottom, like just regular size gravel, whatever you have. You could use landscaping gravel, river rock, literally anything. But I put that in the main bottom, like maybe this deep, just to give me a drainage layer. And then I'm using a majority blend of turfus. Might talk about that in a separate video, but this is really good stuff. I use it in everything. Enough talking. Wow, there we go. That's what, like 5 minutes, and half that time was probably me just being distracted. But yeah, just sit it in there. I'm not doing anything crazy. I just sit it in there, fill in the open areas with the loose soil, and then I'm going to leave it out of direct sun for a couple weeks. I won't water it for a little bit, and then I'll just stick it outside and treat it like the rest of them. I'll take some pictures and post them and kind of see how it goes along. I'm hoping this tip will straighten out. I know it's not about the tip per se, but still, that's growing weird. So I hope that it straightens out. I don't like that, but we'll see. So I also have, I posted the other day, a quick little video of some of these repots, but these are some really awesome little Peruvian torch. Looking really good. This is a fat boy right here. Look at this guy. Really cool. So I just thought I'd repot some more of those. I also have, these are some of my favorites. I haven't really posted about these. One second. Let me grab a bigger one. So these guys right here, this is a, commonly they call these guys prickly pears. There's tons of different kinds. This is my favorite so far. It's actually called an Opuntia macrocentra. but it has the different kind of coloration around the spines. It's like a dark reddish crimson purple kind of color, which I just think is super cool. Here's one. It's like a little baby where I use some recycled soil quite a bit. I have a lot of little surprises that stick around. So this is a little baby, same kind. I only have a handful of those out of the what I have, so I'm trying to save them. So this is a cool little baby. Want to save him today. And also, if I have time or if we're feeling like it, I have this little project. So this is just some random cactus that I was gifted by a family member, which was very nice, but doesn't really fit what I'm growing, and it would help me with this, so I'm going to sacrifice it today. Here's a nice little loft. This is about a 3-year-old seed grown loft, so I'm going to do some grafting. Let's see how that works. I've done it one other time and it failed. I don't mind, to be honest. So let's try it again, see if it works this go around. So we will do that if we feel like it at the end. Man, I really need something so I'm not bending my ass over every single minute. A little better. Okay. So when it comes to pots, not really too picky right now. I do plan on, hopefully having some things to sell later on or gift, and I do not want them in crappy looking pots, but we're just not there yet. So I'm just using whatever I have laying around. This is just some random plastic pot. It's probably like 6 inches maybe. But we will rescue this little guy. Very simple, okay? Scooping that in there. So yeah, I don't really take this too serious, I'm just popping. Here's just like a dead one. I don't know if this guy was leached him to death or what, but I'm going to try to get this out without. Yeah, so there, that failed. But yeah, anyway. Ow. Cuss. That got me. So yeah, I'm trying to be very gentle with these roots. But there's a good little bit. I'm just kind of letting the weight, I'm blocking what I'm doing here, but just kind of letting the weight do the work for me. So yeah, I usually, call me crazy. I don't know what everybody else does, but I do a little root trim. So I'm going to cut these about right here. Just somewhere in there. So let me go get my scissors. So yeah, there we go. Okay, so. And again, a very technical process of just holding it still and pouring shit around it. So that's what we'll do now at this point. I made fun of this process, but this is something that I would definitely recommend to do. As you're adding soil in there, you don't want to leave any spots for air gaps. So you can take anything like a stick, a chopstick, your finger, and just poke it around that soil as you're adding it, just to fill in those gaps. Just going to push it into those empty spaces. Oh, you son of a, you dirty, dirty, dirty dog. Man, you never get used to it. It hurts every time. All right. yeah, so there. So that's that. Just going to set it to the side, out of the direct sun, a couple weeks, let them kind of heal up, and back to the bench. They're pretty tough. They're really good. And they're, of the cactus that I have, they're some of the most cold hardy. I actually have some that is sitting over here. I get up and down like 100 times when I do this. Okay, so these guys, I'm not familiar with the name right off, and I will get that for you probably by the time I post this. But these came from a friend in Indiana, and they sat outside. I live in Southwest Virginia, so it gets pretty damn cold in the winter, below zero. And these guys were outside all winter long, did not miss a beat, and actually grew, throwing pups and rocking right through the winter. So these are some of the most cold hardy cactus, and you don't really think about that, but they can hang in there pretty neat. So we did some repots already. Showed you guys that it's the same thing over and over, so we don't need to keep doing that. We can mess with this though, and I'm really no pro at this. Okay, I've only done this one other time, so we're just kind of going to wing it here, see how it goes. That's how I learn the best. I can read. Somebody could tell me all day. I just got to do it. So let's just do it. Let's see how it goes. We're going to slice this off. All right. Got a little thunder going on. I don't know if you guys are picking that up. So we're going to cut this tip. I don't know. Somewhere in this area. Woo! That was that was satisfying. So yeah, check that out. That's really cool. Really pretty color gradient. I don't know. I really hate to. Maybe I won't waste that. I don't know. We'll see. And I'm just using, by the way, this is just some stainless steel knife. Some people like a serrated, some people like a flat knife edge, so I don't really care. I use both. Okay. Now after that, then you kind of angle the cuts down. Nothing too scientific over here. You're angling those cuts down. You do that just to give yourself a better mating surface. Who gives a shit? Hey, there is a ring in the center of that cactus. Very center. Right there at the tip of my finger. Hopefully we're getting that. And that ring is where you want to join. And the individual cactus, those need to join in order for this graft to be successful. So here's our loft again. Man, I love these guys. Love these guys. So we might try the wizard hat on him too. We're going to slice this right there where that fleshy tissue meets that root tissue. And I should probably do it again. I'm not going to right now. I may regret it. But when I took this out of the package, this is a utility knife or a utility blade. It had oil. It had just random gunk from the factory. So I cleaned it with alcohol. You want this to be clean, dust free. You want it as clean as possible. Scientific wipe on the pants leg definitely will work. So let's slice that now. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now the ring is clearly visible here. You just want to make sure we join those together. So again, kind of like the other cut, we want to dress this up a little bit. We want to cut away from the outer edge to make sure that that center area, the center has the most surface area to contact each other. Okay, got a little bit carried away there, hopefully not too much. So it took a little, things aren't perfect here. Again, not very formal. So as you can see, it took a little too much on that one edge, but as long as we are getting good contact on those rings, we're set. So stick those on there. They're very moist, so they will stick together pretty easily. We're gonna use some plastic wrap, some cling wrap, whatever you guys call it, where you're from. Annoying as hell because it sticks to itself. So what I'm going to do is take this plastic wrap it around the base of the cactus, and then I want to put downward pressure on my the grafting material there. So we're just going to wrap this bad boy like so. A couple wraps. Okay. Did start to slide just a little, so you know you want to do that several times. I'm gonna just repeat that here. Yeah, so that's that. Looks like slapped ass on a biscuit for real. So let's put this out of the way. We're gonna put him out of direct sunlight as well with the things that we repotted. So we'll check back in with that in a little bit. Wish me luck. Is that even focusing? No, probably not. So yeah. It's going great already. So I'd like to try something called a wizard's hat. See, this is the root that's left over from the loft. And if we trim it up all cool like, we trim those loose roots off. The way that these guys grow their root system is they have these thick main root sections, and then they have much smaller feeder roots that grow off of those. So I've torn off most of those little feeder roots, and you're left with like the main tap roots, okay? And they call this a little wizard's hat. We're gonna graft this upside down on something too. See if it throws little pups off the side. Just neat, right? Here's something I threw in the you suck pile, yeah, the I'm ashamed of you pile, because it had a pretty bad spot on the side. So I threw it in the junk. We're gonna cut that off for grafting. Let's do it. That geometry is always so satisfying to me. Just the color. So here's our stock. You can see the ring. So you've got the ring, of course, on the root, and I've got it so dirty in here. Let's do a fresh cut to get a better seal, better connection. So we're just going to cut it like 1/8 of an inch off the material, just to have a fresh, clean union. Right, put that bad boy right on there. Yeah, so that's Franken style yet again. Look how weird and shitty that looks, but that's what growing cactus is all about. We're weird. So yeah, thanks for hanging out with me on a windy, chilly, old, cloudy day, but we got a lot of other projects to work on, more stuff to repot, more seeds, more prickly pears. You know, hopefully by the end of this year I can go to my first farmer's market, or, you know, potentially set up somewhere for the first time. Want to get the greenhouse going, so hopefully want to add some bees. So there's just a lot of things that I plan on doing. I want to stay at this. This helps keep me accountable. So thanks for tuning in again. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Catch you next time.